What is up, ladies and gentlemen out there on the internet? It is I, Michael Schachman, here with our inaugural first episode of what I'm going to be calling affectionately Starfleet Simplified. I'm making this series in an attempt to kind of vary up the content here in the institute and on the channel. The last season of content that we did was that on the clans of BattleTech, and I figured I needed a kind of little bit of a change of pace, something a little bit more enjoyable and a little bit more uh, how shall we say, um, not so much more, but less stressful to make. And I believe it or not, even though this series has vastly more content than BattleTech does, and has vastly longer tenure, they tend to be a lot more simplified and explained in a lot more interesting manner, and the materials on the different things that we're going to be covering in this series are a lot better explained. So I am a Trekker, and but not a devout one. I know what I like, and but I'm still kind of a relative noob when it comes to the world, so I'm going to be using to a great extent my wiki thing, that being Starbase 118 PBEM RPG wiki, which is that of um, which is the Starfleet Battles wiki. I was going to use Memory Alpha, but decided instead of doing that to use the one that had the best linkage and best hyperlinks. So, with that out of the way, we're going to dive into today's first episode, where we will be covering the ship that I grew up, or I started in Star Trek on, the one that for me started it all, that being the Galaxy class, as made famous by the uh, USS Enterprise D, NCC 1701D. Um, and we're going to get a little bit into this, just so you guys are aware. Much like the BattleTech Simplified, the mech series that we did, not the faction ones that we were doing, but much like the mech series, we are going to be doing. Starting off each of these episodes with a little blurb on their history, and then we're going to be focusing um, on their technical specifications, and then I'll give you my personal feelings on them, and then we'll finish off the day. So, yeah. Anyhow, so starting off, we're going to be starting off with the cornerstone of the Federation, United Federation of Planets fleet, and by the standard by which all other ships that have come since have been measured in the 24th century in that series. Today we'll be covering the Galaxy class exploratory cruiser. Here we go. Since the commissioning of USS Galaxy herself in 2357, this marvel of starship engineering and design has captured the imaginations of billions across the Federation, defended its worlds, and continues to push the boundaries of exploration. Now, in its fourth decade of service, the Galaxy class has cemented itself as the modern standard by which all other classes have since been judged. As for its specifications, ladies and gentlemen, we are the 2370s. Well, actually, there's several of these right here, so I'm going to go with both of them, just to kind of vary it up. The 2370s model of the refit um, of the Galaxy class. It fits into a explorer type cruiser. Its production base is at ASDB Integration Facility on Utopia Planitia Fleet Yards on Mars. It has an overall length of 642.51 meters, a beam measurement of 463.73 meters, and a height of 195.26 meters. It is the standard by which all other things are measured in terms of size. This version has a mass of 4,500,000 metric tons. Wow. Just for those of you who are a little bad at math, that is approximately 9 billion pounds, basically. That's fucking huge. It's a big boy. Or sorry, a big girl. Its accommodation, it can accommodate 1,000 and 1,012 officers and crew, 200 visiting personnel, as well as 15,000 personal evacuation limit. Its power plant is one 1,500 plus Cochrane warp core feeding into two LF-41 advanced linear warp drive units. It also comes with three Fig 5 subatomic unified energy impulse units, one impulse system in star drive section, two impulse systems in the saucer section. Its performance, it can hold warp 9.6 for 12 hours as standard, or warp 9.9 for up to 12 hours at uprated with great risk to itself. Anything longer than that, it can be kind of problematic. Its armament is it has 12 Type 10 uh, collimated phaser arrays as standard, 14 Type 10 column fader arrays as well in its uprated form. It also has three Mark 80 direct fire photon torpedo launchers. As for and that was for the 3070s version. The 3090s refit, it again is produced in the on the ASDB integration facility Utopia Planitia Fleet Yards on Mars, but it's also produced in the ASDB integration facility 40 Iridani, a Starfleet construction yards on Yoyodyne of the Yoyodyne division. This one has basically the exact same dimensions, I think. Hold on. Let's see here. Yeah, the exact same dimensions. For a repeat, that's 642. Basically rounding up to the nearest whole. It's 643 meters long, 464 meters wide by 195 meters tall. Um, this one actually has a total of 10 billion, um, has an additional billion metric tons or metric pounds, 5 million metric tons, as opposed to the earlier version's 4,500. This one, however, can only accommodate 1,000 officers and crew, 200 visiting personnel, but still with the exact same personal evacuation limit of 15,000 personal evacuation. It has, let's see here, it has uh, um, the 1,500 plus Cochrane warp core feeding two LF-41 advanced linear warp drive units. Yes. Three Fig 5 subatomic energy impulse units, one impulse in star drive section, and two in the saucer section, as per usual. The difference in this one, however, is in its armament. That being, this is the war version during the Dominion War, from what I understand. It has 14 Type 12 collimated phaser arrays and three Mark 95 quantum or photon torpedo launchers, allowing them to have variety in the type of bang bangs, explodey uh, ball joy that they can throw out. And yeah, that's going to about cover the Galaxy specifications. Um, As for my personal feelings on the Galaxy, I mean, guys, I grew up, I was raised on TNG, on the Next Generation. This is if it weren't for the Sovereign class in the majority of the TNG movies, this would probably be my absolute favorite uh ship. And from a storytelling standpoint, it is my favorite ship. The only reason I think that the Sovereign class is a better ship, and I like it more for specific reasons, is because frankly it's more heavily armored and heavily armed. It's more of the Munchkin in me that likes the Sovereign as opposed to the Galaxy. But when it boils down to it, the Galaxy is still always going to be first in my mind and in my heart. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to about do it for today's episode, our first episode of Starfleet Simplified. Um, Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like on the video. Stay tuned for the outro. Stay tuned for next week when we cover the next episode, depending on how this goes. I'm thinking I'm just gonna create the first season of this going forward, and then see how it does once it comes out. And then after that, if it comes out well enough, I will probably end up just going ahead and making this into a full-on multi-season series. So look forward to that if you guys want to. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Michael Shockman. Stay tuned for the outro, and until next time, bye bye for now. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure, folks. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, be sure to ring the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Lastly, if you liked my work and you want to help support my channels, you can now do so on Patreon, where for as little as $4 a month, you get access to a load of cool content and much more. Thanks so much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Michael Shockman, and until next time, remember, keep it real, keep it safe, keep it healthy, and we will see you guys again soon in the next one. Peace off, everybody.